My name is Elijah, and every person in my bloodline has lived and died under the weight of a curse older than memory. This is not a legend. This is not folklore. It is a truth etched into the bones of my ancestors. When my sister Miriam turned 12, she vanished from her bedroom in the middle of the night. All that remained was her blanket twisted into a rope and a single black feather, still warm. That was when I learned the rules were not just tradition. They were survival. My family has followed these rules for centuries. Rituals of light, silence, and sacred ground. Break them, and the thing in the walls will come. It waits. It watches. And it punishes. We follow rules to survive, because we have seen what happens when we do not. This is the night I learned the truth, and paid for it in blood. The house we lived in was a weathered colonial deep in the woods of Vermont, passed down through generations. Its creaking floors and narrow staircases were more than just old, they were alive. As a child, I remember my mother, Cecilia, whispering instructions every night before bed. Elijah, sprinkle salt across your windowsill. Keep your candle burning. Sleep with both feet under the covers. Never leave your door open past midnight. I did not understand them. I thought they were her quirks, the strange habits of an old family. Until the night Miriam disappeared. She had just turned 12. Our birthday party had been quiet, with only a few family members. That evening, she forgot the salt. Just once. By morning, she was gone. No sign of forced entry. No footprints in the snow outside her window. Just that single, warm feather and a whisper in the walls. My father, Robert, looked hollow after that day. He burned Miriam's bedding in the backyard without saying a word. That was the first time I saw the fear in his eyes, the kind that cannot be faked. That night, he sat on the edge of my bed and told me, "The curse is real. The rules are real. Break them, and it takes you." He never said what it was. Over time, I learned the history piece by piece. The curse began with our ancestor, Nathaniel Ward, a preacher in the 1700s who led a secret order deep in the wilderness. They called themselves the Circle of Seven. It was said that they summoned something that should never have heard its name spoken aloud. One by one, the seven vanished, and the thing they summoned did not leave. It bound itself to Nathaniel's bloodline, and it has followed us ever since. The rules are not just rituals. They are boundaries that keep the creature dormant. The family kept journals, handwritten warnings tucked into the attic, beneath floorboards, sewn into the seams of coats. Each page contained desperate ink. Always light a flame before midnight. Never acknowledge the voice calling from the cellar. If your reflection smiles before you do, cover the mirror and run. I was 10 years old when I began to memorize the rules. By 15, I knew them by heart. But knowledge does not stop fear. It only sharpens it. It was the winter I turned 17 when the rules were broken again. This time, it was not by accident. My cousin, Daniel, moved in after his parents died in a car accident. He had never believed in curses. He laughed when I poured salt across the window ledges. He rolled his eyes when I told him to carry a candle upstairs at night. One evening, he did the unthinkable. He opened the cellar door after midnight. He said he heard his mother's voice. He wanted to know if it was real. That night, the house changed. The temperature dropped suddenly, though every heater roared. The walls seemed to pulse with a heartbeat. Whispers returned, not just from the cellar, but from the ceiling, from behind closed doors, from mirrors. Shadows clung to the corners even when light touched them. Daniel was taken at 3:03 a.m. I heard him scream once, high and sharp, like metal tearing, and then it was silent. We found his body the next day, twisted in the basement rafters, eyes wide open, and mouth sewn shut with black thread. The rules were clear. He broke one, and the curse collected its debt. After Daniel's death, the house refused to rest. Doors opened by themselves. The clock stopped. Animals avoided the property. I tried to follow the rules with precision, but the creature was already awake. One night, I woke to complete silence. No wind, no creaking, no night sounds. I looked at the candle, it was out. I reached for the matches. They were gone. My silver pendant, I stepped into the hallway and found it longer than it had ever been. Endless. The air shimmered like heat waves. paintings on the wall had changed. Where there had once been landscapes, there were now twisted figures staring back at me. The door to the cellar was open again. My feet moved before I could stop them. I descended into the darkness, past the 7th step, the step we were never supposed to pass. With each step, the air thickened, like I was walking into a throat. I could hear breathing all around me. At the base of the stairs, I saw something impossible. My grandfather's journal sat on a stone pedestal. He had vanished when I was 2. No one had seen him since. I opened the book. There were new pages, written in fresh ink. They were addressed to me. Elijah, if you are reading this, then the creature has breached the threshold. You have one chance. Fire cannot kill it, but it will blind it. Blood cannot weaken it, but truth can unmask it. You must speak the final rule aloud. You must name what it truly is. The writing ended there. Behind me, I heard the voice of my sister. Elijah, it said sweetly. Help me. I turned and it stood there. It wore Miriam's face. But the eyes were all wrong. No light. No soul. I ran. I fled back up the stairs, through a house that had turned into a labyrinth. The walls shifted. Rooms collapsed into others. Time stretched like glue. When I finally reached the old prayer room, I slammed the door shut and turned the key. The creature pounded behind it. My hands trembled as I pulled the ancient candle from the drawer and lit it with the last match I had. The flame revealed its true form. Not a monster of claws and fangs, but a shifting, formless shadow made of mouths and limbs and agony. It screamed when the light touched it. I remembered my grandfather's words. Truth can unmask it. I stood and shouted, "You are the lie we tell ourselves to forget our guilt. You are the grief we never bury. You are the shame passed down in blood. I know your name now." Its shape recoiled. It wailed like 1,000 voices screaming in reverse. The house began to collapse inward. I barely made it out. Now I live alone. I carry the rules with me like scars. I still sprinkle salt. I still wear silver. I still light candles before I sleep. But sometimes, when I close my eyes, I see a door open at the end of a hallway that should not exist. And I hear my sister's voice. "Elijah," she whispers. "You followed the rules. But I never said they would save you forever. The curse does not die. It waits. And we still follow the rules, because it is the only thing keeping it at bay."